The disciples were out on a boat one night, and a storm was raging. The boat was being tossed to and fro in the wind, and I'm sure there was probably maybe lightning and thunder and the usual things that a storm brings. And as they're out there scared in the midst of this storm, they look out to the water and they see a figure in the background. And it eerily looks like that figure is coming closer to the boat. You can imagine at first they rub their eyes and wonder if maybe this is some kind of illusion brought on by fear. But they're all seeing the same thing. And when the lightning flashes, the figure gets closer and closer. Soon they discover that it's Jesus. That he's walking on top of that raging water. All of a sudden, Peter manifests great faith. And he says, Lord, if that's really you over there, let me come to you. Let me walk on the water. Jesus says, come. Peter gets out of the boat and he begins to walk on the water. And he begins to keep his focus on Jesus. And he's not even thinking about the fact that he's walking on water. And then the wind picks up. The thunder crashes in the background. Peter all of a sudden changes his focus and realizes that there's a storm. There's a storm here. And as he realizes that, he begins to sink in the waves. And he does the only thing he knows to do. He screams out, Jesus! Jesus, help me! Maybe it was more like, Jesus! Cried out to Christ. Christ walked up to him, lifted him out of the water, said, O ye of little faith. You know, I've noticed in my life that sometimes life throws some pretty big hurdles at me. Life throws some pretty big hurdles at us all sometimes. And in the midst of that, God calls out to us. And he says, I want you to achieve something great. I want you to do something. And we get our focus and our eyes on him. And we begin to walk towards him. And walk towards that calling. And walk towards that goal. And then here comes another one of those hurdles. Here comes a storm in our lives. Here comes somebody tearing us down. Here comes some situation stopping our hope, stopping our faith, stopping our progress. And immediately we begin to sink. We begin to go into depression. We begin to manifest despair. We begin to feel like we can't do this anymore. And it's not because we're incapable. It's because we took our eyes off Christ and put our eyes on the storm. If you're walking through a storm today, if you've backslidden or if you've taken your eyes and your focus off Christ and you feel like you're drowning, will you call out to him? Will you call out to him and ask him to come into your life and to lift you up and to make you whole again? And to put you back on the road that you're supposed to be on? Because he loves you and he wants to change your life. But right now you're so focused on the circumstances keeping you from being who he's called you to be, that you're sinking. Don't let them drown you, but lift up your eyes. Look to Christ today.